Eat more lunch. Welcome to installing and inspecting a nucleus hive. Today we're going to install this 5-frame nucleus hive into this beehive, and I'm going to show you that process and how to do it if you're a total beginner. This is a good thing for you to learn. We also have a quick start guide. If you want to put that link, that's going to be in the comments. Or not in the comments, but in the description. You can get a quick start link. Also be on our email list to get some of these free trainings that we're going to do in a different area. We're not putting it up on YouTube anymore because we have some other things that we're going to do in the future. So I think with that, I'm going to start insulating. Everything's there. It's going to be here. Everything's going to come in. So first thing you want to do is take your smoker. And these guys are pretty happy. It's 74 degrees here. They don't do anything. This is the Carney hive. So these are Carney Owens. They've been sitting here for 5 or 6 days. So if you watched that video that we did the other day about transporting honeybees, then you'll know that we got them. It wasn't great. Well, it wasn't great. I told you if you have to, you just put them out and let them fly, and they'll be fine. You get a little smoke. But like I said, I got folks around there happy. They're flying around. They're just checking out their area. These guys are a little bit scared now because I just put them in place. But the key to this is, see, these have been here for almost a week, but I put them right next to where they're going. And this one's going to go out here, and this one's going to go out here. So as long as they're within 10 inches of where they're going, they can smell their queen. When they come around, they'll try to go to that one, they'll smell it, and then they'll smell this one, they'll say, oh no, this is our queen. And you may get a little drift from side to side, but it's not going to be a big deal. You get a lot of drift, the queen's gone, and they're going to the queen that they can smell. So that's a problem with packages, not using the queen size. So the first thing you want to do is I'm going to try to get this in camera, and I have my beautiful wife Julie over here. She's my production assistant, so she's going to tell me if I'm getting these things right because I can't see what I'm doing here. And she's manning the chat. She's going to try to keep your questions, and so can you see that? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to look down here and count the seams of bees. Just kind of judge and gauge the strength of your nucleus hive. So I can't see from this angle, so I'm going to go down, and that looks to me like about 3, maybe 4 seams of bees. This one's not super full, but the seams are what's considered the bees between frames. So that's kind of what you want to do. Just so you know, you can notes of this. You can take a little notebook, especially if you have as many as I do, and keep track. If you just have 1 or 2, then you're going to remember. Yes, our quick guide outlines all of that. You can download it, and the link will be in the description. You might be able to press Control C and put a link in the chat, but I don't know if it's still there. I had copied it. I Control V. I had copied it and put it in the turn computer on. So the first thing is that you want to look at this frame and just kind of gauge like what's going on. So we're installing and inspecting. So see, we're going to look at these bees. They look very healthy. They're happy. They're moving around. See how calm they are. How's this look at the camera? Higher? Okay. So that's what you're looking for. And I'm going to blow on a little bit. These don't like your breath, so they move up. So you don't have to smoke doing that. Let's see what we have here. We have, I don't know if you can see that. Can they see the eggs? I don't know how close I can focus. Can you see the eggs? Too close? You can't see the eggs down there? Oh yeah, she's on delay. So, up. Oh, sorry. So anyway, those are what eggs look like. They look like little tiny grains of rice. Bottom center, you got eggs. So this tells me that this nuke is really strong because this is the 5th frame all the way on the outside. There's eggs, there's brood that's hatched already. So you can see the orange cells that have half on them, those are called brood, and those are the bees that are about ready to hatch. So they're like 21 days old, and they're getting ready to hatch out, or emerge, I guess is the proper term. I would say hatch. People say, no, they're not eggs. They're not chickens, but whatever. So this tells me that this is a strong nucleus because in 22 days, this frame is going to have 6,000 bees on it, and you can see the other side. So as I'm inspecting this, I'm looking for signs of any disease, signs of queen cells, especially one that's this full. So I go on them. If you have one that's super full, you might want to shake all these bees off into your hive and check for queen cells. I don't feel I have to do that, but there are a couple like this one. If you see this one, see how many bees are in this one? This one they have queen cells. You gotta ask the guy you buy them from, the guy or the girl. You know, they just tell you, these are really weak, cold, weather's not great, these are really strong, you put them in right when you get them because they swarm. So you just get that information from the people you buy them from. So the first step, what? Oh yeah. So the first step that you want to do after opening them and inspecting is you want to put this frame in the same place as it was in the nucleus hive and the same orientation. My wife, when we were doing this quick start guide, she told me a great tip. See, my problem is I've been doing this for so many years that I take all this for granted and I do it so quickly. But when it's beginning, you know, I forgot all the stuff that I didn't know when I was beginning. So her tip was, before you do anything, take your pen or your marker and mark an X on this part of the frame. So you know that that's the front. And you want to put your bees back the way they were in this because they've been in this for probably a couple months and they're oriented that way. They fill their food and their stores and their eggs and everything that way, and it's just less work for them. If you turn that frame, they might not rearrange some, so they're going to waste time doing that. So the next step is the same process. We're going to move this frame away. I forgot to mention why we do this. We start on the outside because the queen is generally in those middle 3 frames, and you don't want to pull that middle frame out. You do that. You can roll the queen. That's called rolling the queen. Break her back, or her, I don't know, she has back, but her midsection or thorax, and then she will be dead. So we usually start from the outside. You do the left side or right side. So I start from the left side. The right hand person starts from the right side. I don't know. So I always start. You just want to start from the outside, and then you want to move this frame away from that one. So that when you pull this up, you don't crush any bees. And again, I'm looking for indications of maybe a queen cell. I'm looking for the queen. If I see her, I'll show you. And this is a great time to mark the queen if you can see her. And we have indicated a video on the quick start guide, one of my videos on how to mark the queen. If you're not comfortable doing it, you don't have to. The only thing you care about when you're checking these is that there's eggs. If you see eggs, you know that your queen in there. You don't have to see her. You don't have to put your paws on her. You know she's in there because every egg will turn into a larva in 3 days. So this means at least 3 days ago she was there. And so that's it. So this is a beautiful frame of brood. We'll flip it up nice and gently. Another really good frame of brood. They're nice and calm. They've got some spores. You can see on the outside here pollen. So what you want to look for again is pollen and maybe some nectar. They don't have a lot of nectar, but they have enough. We have a flow going on right now, a small flow, but the pollen is starting to come in. We've got some honeysuckle and mustard, and we're just starting with the black locust. Now we live in the Northwest again, so we don't have a ton of black like Tennessee or Kentucky, but we have a bit. We have some rivers and we have some what do you want to call them? We have some interstates where for whatever reason we cut the interstate. The black locust like to grow along those corridors, maybe because there's water there, drainage. I'm not sure why. So again, we're going to put this in the same position and the same orientation. My X is right there. Don't do that because you don't have vibration. And then I put them right back to where they were. I haven't yet seen the queen, but in my mental state or keeping track of, I got 2 really good frames of brood. So that's one of the things you want to keep track of when you're putting your nucleus is how much brood you have. Because it kind of tells you how to manage them. So here we go, frame number 3, pry it off, slide it over, pull it out, and give it some eyeballs. These are amazing. Thanks, Tim, for the thanks. Very Chinese. This is the first time I bought nucleus colonies. I do buy packages. I used to buy nucleus colonies in the old days, but then they got expensive. But now packages become so expensive that sometimes it feels like it's better to buy nucleus colonies. When I say my word, these are all brand new frames, maybe a year old. You see the box. It's all part of it. So you know, that all factors into it. You know, in the old days I had some nukes I got from Beekeepers. They gave you the worst frames. They just didn't want to break in nasty frames. So these are pretty impressive. All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting off topic here. All right, so here's a queen cell. Actually, a queen cup. I don't know if you can see this right there. Okay, so that's called a queen cup, and this is something normal that the bees do all the time. That's not a queen cell because we have to see if there's an egg in it. So what we want to do is we want to check it. No egg, so no worries, right? They're not preparing to swarm. They didn't lay an egg yet. That's just something they normally do. And here it is, the little plastic cup of the queen cell that they put in this nuke. So what the commercial beekeepers do is they take these frames from really strong hives. They usually bring back from the almonds, or maybe they're just overwearing them somewhere and they're really strong. And they put a grafted queen egg in this little cup and they put her in here, and then she hatches and she continues on with this, these bees that they pull out of one of their hives from the almonds. So what you got is a new queen. So she hatched this year. So she'll be really good this year. Next year she'll be amazing. The second year queens are the queens that you want. First year queens, they're just getting started. Their ovaries are getting, but they lay the second year. If you know, over they are the best in their second year. Why switch what? Oh, why switch the cup? I just did because I opened it, but if you had an egg in there, here's another one right here. There's another one right there. If you had some of the eggs in them, what you want to do to keep this from swarming is you want to destroy them. But before you did that, you want to make sure your queen was still in here because she's already gone. Maybe she swarmed when they were transporting these. Maybe she got killed when they were transporting them. She was on the bottom. You know, the first thing they did was they got rid of all the dead bees and put them out here in front because you know these chick around the semis and they're in there and they get hot or they get cold or bees just die. Right? Bees only live 30 days in summertime. And so every day you're gonna have a big hive. You're gonna have between 400 bees die natural causes. They don't die in the hive. They fly out at night and they die. So when you start looking at bees at night, go there for lunch, sit there like a geek, and watch your bees. They go out and they grab blade grass. You're like, oh no, that one's not gonna make it back. It's getting dark, it's getting cold, and that's right. They die out of the hive. They try not to leave themselves dead in the hive because that creates dirt. So I'm blowing on these. The whole time I'm yakking, I'm looking at that queen. I haven't seen her yet. But I would say that she's probably pretty fat because if she's laying like this, she's gonna be pretty big. I haven't seen any queen cells indicate that she got injured or something in transportation, and that does happen. When you transport honey beehives, when commercial beekeepers do that, they lose about 15 to 20% of their queens from them banging around. Maybe they get swished, maybe these killing because they're mad because they're in the back of the semi, they're getting vibrated for 3 days until they get where they're going. You don't really know, but they do lose about 15 to 20% of their bees, their queen bees. So this one looks great. Again, I was having about half a brood, but there's a lot of larvae on that one. We didn't talk about larvae yet. If I don't see any sex, I'll pull it straight back out. It's not a big deal. We're here to learn. You see how calm this is. This is why you see a lot of people, experienced beekeepers out with the bee suit. These bees are calm. They might have a helmet on, they might have a veil, they might have anything. Some of the guys are really good. I don't like doing that because you just never know. I don't recommend beginners do that because if you drop something like this high tool, they can come up and sting you. But if you know what you're doing, and you have nice bees like these, you can easily do this without protection. But I do not recommend it. All right, so frame number 4. Wow, this is amazing. Frame number 3 on this side, on this side. Look at it. So you can see what they're doing here. Let me blow. So what's happened, some of those bees have hatched, and they fill those little holes with nectar because they don't have any more space. So as soon as I put this in that big hive with 5 more empty frames, they're going to take all that nectar out of those little cells, and the queen's going to come back and lay eggs in those cells. If you didn't have any experience, you might think this is what they call a spotty brood pattern. You say, oh, my queen's filling because it looks like a shotgun pattern. But that's not the case, because I know that this thing's so full that they're putting nectar where they can put it. And these, like I said, these have been here for almost a week, and they've been bringing nectar, and they have nowhere to put it because they're full. So that's what's going on there. So look at the queen. You see the bees with the pollen. And anybody see the bees with the pollen? See this little girl here? She's got pollen bags. Yellow pollen, that's the mustard. Could be dandelion, but most of our dandelions are already going to seed here. We've had crazy weather. We had 70 or 80 degrees early in April, and now we have had 50s the last couple weeks. It's going to be 80 this week, which is unusually warm for Indiana. Do you want to focus? Okay. I'm turning over to see. I do not see the queen down. I'm still looking. There she is. Whoa, she's one of my favorite queens. I love the queens that are like black with the golden stripes. The carnelian queens. And she's bigger. So this is my other favorite kind of queen. See how bigger she is? She is not taking over for an answer. She just goes wherever she wants. So she's on the top and she's doing her job. And that's what you want to see. If you see a lethargic queen, it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. This one is like, she is moving. She's like, get out of my way. I'm laying an egg. I'm looking for a cell. This is another indication that this hive is too full. They're going to love these combs I give them. Because look, she's looking in every cell trying to find them. These are all capped. They all have nectar. She's like, I need to lay an egg. I need to lay an egg. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's the signal that the other bees give the queen. When they bring in pollen and mass quantities like they're doing now, that signals to the queen that she needs to lay. There she is right there. Can you still see her? Beautiful. Golden legs. Oh, okay, here we go. The nectar. Here's the top corner. That's nectar. So it's like water. Looks like liquid. So this top corner is nectar, and then right next to it is pollen. It's yellow. Yellow and orange. Maybe if I turn it this way. Yeah, so right here in this corner where there's like reflecting each one of the cells, that's nectar. So that becomes honey, but at this stage it's just nectar because what it is 80% water and 20% sugar from flowers. And until they, or actually more than that, it's probably 99% water, 1% sugar, because honey is like 19% sugar. So they're just bringing it in, they convert it, usually they use the nectar with the pollen to make something called bee bread. So they make a fermented bee bread, just like we would make a fermented bread, and then they feed that to the larva. And that's what I was going to say. So I'm going to put this one back because the queen's on here, I don't want anything to happen to her, she's happy. But I don't see any larva on this one. I'm going to go back to the other frame and show you what a larva is. Because this one has eggs and it has larvae that are very, very young, so they just hatched. Which is like what happens is a queen lays an egg, and then 3 days after she lays it, it turns into a little bitty larva, which is still about the same size as an egg. But maybe 5 to 7 days after that, the larva starts getting bigger and starts to look like a grub. So I'm going to pull this thing back out and try to find those big ones that I saw and show you where they're at. See if I can find them. Here we go. They're in this section right here. I don't know if it's going to focus down that deep, but those are larvae that are floating in royal jelly. Right in the center of the screen. So those are larvae and floating in royal jelly. So the other thing that tells you is that these bees are getting the nutrition that they need. If they can make that amount of royal jelly to float their larvae, that's the nutrition that you want for your bees. Sometimes you'll see when you do a lot of inspections. So let's say 1 year I had 80 hives and I did 5 inspections here. So that's 400 inspections. So that's the kind of thing. It's something you do over and over again. But you go into a hive and see all those larvae and they're dry and they're that big. So that means that those bees, for whatever reason, either they weren't gathering around food, maybe we had dirt and there wasn't anything blooming, maybe I'm getting too big with palm patties. There's a lot of reasons. Maybe they had mites or something certain, and there's a lot of reasons they can have malnutrition. But what you want to see is these larvae floating in that royal jelly from about, I would say, day 4 until you cap, which is day 10, I believe. Yeah, there's another queen cup. Again, I'm looking at them. There's no eggs. She seems to be happy. I'm looking back. Let's see how I look. I just pivoted. I just direction. I don't remember where I'm at, but luckily my X is still here. So I remember that the X goes there, and then this is frame number 3. And it goes right there. My queen is on frame number 4, but it's okay because I'm not going to pull it everything. I'm just going to slide it nice and gentle up there. All right, so we got 4 frames of brood. We got lots of eggs. We got lots of larvae. We got good nutrition. And we have a queen. So, we're doing really well here. Now we're getting to the 5th flame. And this is plastic nectar. See if you can see that. So this is going to be honey. What happens is the outside frames tend to become pollen and honey in a big hive. And the reason they do that is because honey, once it's full and capped, it becomes like insulator. So it's like insulation to them. So what they want to do is they want to surround their whole cluster with honey. So that when they keep this warm in the winter, it's like a heat blanket. So if they keep this at 90 degrees, it stays warm. It doesn't get cold as quickly as the outside temperature does. So usually on a 10 frame hive, you'll have the outside 2 frames on both sides in the fall full of honey. Not this time of year because they're growing. So this is the only one. And what's going to happen is they're going to move this, probably going to move this nectar to the outside, or they're going to use it to make more bees. So on this side, you can see the pollen. So they're just starting to pack that pollen in the middle there. Different colors. So they got the yellow and orange pollen. They pack it in. They get it right off their little bags and they pack it in there. And as you can see, this is a very new comb. This is some really nice colonies. There's a bee right there in the middle with the big pollen bags. I don't know if you can see that one. But she's trying to find a place to put it. She's got her little cell bags all full. And I'm not sure how to figure out where to put it. I don't know if the other bees tell them. Probably they're, hey, over here. Do this, do that. Knows. All right, so this is the 5th frame. So typically, if you were just doing an average hive, which I would say this is not an average hive, this is a little bit below average. On the quick start guide, we have a little table that we made that shows you. I just have a few pieces on there. And look, they're not going to go to this box, so they smell their queen. They know exactly where they're going. They're trying to go here, they're going to smell there, and that opening number right there. And that's why you see some bees right there. See how they come here? They're trying to go back to where they were, but then immediately they buzz this way and they smell it and they're ready. So that's why it's not going to be a big deal to do this. But since this nucleus is so strong, I'm going to do something that I would encourage you to only do if you know what you're doing. Because typically, these guys late. Sometimes you get early. Everyone's so cold. You don't want to split the brood nest when it's cold because they're trying to keep it warm. It's like the size of a football, and then the rest of the outer part of it is food. So you don't want to split it. But since this thing is so strong, I don't want to swarm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split this brood nest by separating it right here in the middle. It's not really in the middle, there's 3 and 2, and you can't separate 2 and a half. So I'm going to separate that. And this really works this time of the year. It's not something you want to do in the fall. This time of year, they're in wax building mode because they're bringing in so much sugar. Maybe you're feeding them sugar syrup if you want to flow, you got much earlier. And what you want to do is put a drawn comb or a comb with wax foundation in the middle there. And I got this comb right here. I'm going to check and see which one's the best. None of them are really super great, but they all have wax and some food on. And this one, it's got some wax mouth damage on it and some other things, but it's going to be okay. So what I've got is got some drawn comb. There's some wax mouth damage, there's some sugar, there's some wax mouth damage, but they're not here. They got killed by winter. There's something else alive in here, and there's a little bit of, I don't know what that is, old pollen and stuff. They'll pull all that out of there. But what they don't have to do is they don't have to build all this comb. They can clean this out in 24 hours. If I pull stuff tomorrow, look at it, it'll be totally clean, and then that queen will start laying here. And what the bees don't like is they don't like foundation in the middle. This isn't really foundation because it's already drawn. If you took a frame with what's called wax foundation, and that's just a piece of wax, and you put it in the middle there, they hate that. So they immediately go to work to make that in a drawn comb. So that's one way to get them to draw out. And if you really wanted to, you could do what's called checkerboarding. You could separate this every other frame and put the bees in there. I'm not going to do that because I think they're doing fine. This one extra frame, I'm going to put the other ones on the outside. Because we do have some cold weather coming, like I said, it's going to be 80 for a couple days, then go back down to 50. So I'm not going to do that. This one is really nice on that side, not so nice on this side. So I'll do that one out here. And these can go anywhere, any direction. What's that?
I have a question about how long it takes for the nectar to come honey. I know that the bees will fan their wings and the moisture will start to evaporate. It's about 70% moisture, but how long does that take?
It really depends on the part of the world that you're in, how much relative humidity you have. So, but that's a fantastic question. So a good hive, Like a strong hive that's totally full of bees can fill a box, which is called a super. I'm looking around, I have one right here, it's a smaller box, but they can fill the super in 10 days. So if this is a strong hive that has 2 levels, and I put those honey boxes on top of it, they can fill that in 10 days. Now, they can't get it down to honey in 10 days, but they can fill it. And then they start fanning. I don't know exactly how long it takes, like I said, it's only honey when it's below, some of the professionals say 19% because they can drive. Usually 17% is the number. And you can actually get a little device called a hydrometer, and you can check your honey to see if it's really honey and it's not nectar. I do a test where I take it and I shake it, and if it doesn't come out, it's honey. If it comes out, it's still nectar. That's kind of the test that I do. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's really good advice. Every 10 14 days, and the reason it's 10 14 days is because it takes 14 days to make a queen. So let's say that I was an idiot and I killed that queen. When I put this in, anything can happen. You know, if you're not paying attention, you don't see her, and she's between those, let me show you this. She's between the ears here. You know, those on those wooden things, those ears out. And if that bee gets in between there, you don't see her, and you push those strings together like I just did. Well, you just killed the queen. You'll never know. But you will, because you're going to come back to this hive in 10 days and inspect it, and you're going to see that there's probably still eggs, there's larvae, they've drawn out those combs, if you put in foundation, they fix these combs, if you put in other ones like I did, they're going to clean them out, they're going to make them more uniform. Did you see how they were wavy? Let me get down here so you can see it. You can get my face. You know, they were wavy and uneven. They fix all that. If they're strong hive, they're getting lots of nectar, they'll fix all that. On the 5th of the fall, they don't always get to fixing all, but on these new frames like this one was drawn last year, so fresh wax, they'll probably fix all of it. And so you see how calm they are? They're happy. These bees, these birds are finding their way to their queen. And if you were here, you could hear this. There's a roar a little bit, that's because they're fanning the new queen pheromone, so that the bees can find things. They realize they were moved. You don't have to move from here to there. They realize that they were moved. So they're putting, if you were to be able to smell this or see it, they don't really know a color or something coming out of this. That indicates that that's your queen. We call it smell because it's pheromones, but they don't really know. Like, you know, it's what we understand as a smell.
How long will we wait until we add another box on top of that one?
That's a fantastic question. So, typically, they're going to say 8 frames of bees. So we have already 5, right? There's no bones about it. We really have 5 frames of bees. I guess you could say it was 4 because that one was nectar. There's a lot of bees on there. And there's a lot of bees that are going to hatch out in the next 10 days. So I would say once you get up to here, you got 8 frames. This is a 10 frame hive. You got 8 frames covered. You're going to have the next box. And depending on whether it's foundation or whether it's drawing comb, if you get foundation, you may want to say it's warm. Like if it's warm, it's not getting freezing. Nice, saying 50s or 60s, depending on where you live in the world. Then you could bring some of these up to that box because if you do that, the bees, like I said, put one of those combs in between the bees. They draw it up faster. It's in between. So if you just put this, you put a whole box of foundation on the top. Even though they want room, they might not go up there because to them it's not room. It's just undrawn comb. If it's comb, they see it as room. They will immediately go up there. Like literally, you put it on, go to lunch, come back out later, and you put the top on there, all of it, and they're cleaning it and figuring out what they're going to do.
And how do I know which frame to pull up to the top?
Well, you kind of decide. You know, maybe these 2. So if these 8, you do every other one. Do like 3, and leave 5 on the bottom, and 3 on the top. And so you don't have to worry about the top getting cold because remember, heat rises. So these guys are making a lot of heat down there, and that heat goes up. Really have to worry about the bottom getting colder. That's why everything's off the ground. So here we live. We get so this time of year. Sometimes this week the other day, my wife lost a couple flowers. They frost. What was it, May 8th? So you know, they hear they say don't put any tomatoes or anything until May 15th. So it really depends on where you live in the world. But that's a general thing. 8 frames. That is if you have a 10 frame hive. If you're running 8 frame equipment, then obviously you don't want to wait until 8 frames because what's going to happen is once this hive senses that they don't have any more room, they're going to try to swarm. They're going to start to swarm. Preparedness. They're going to make those queen cups. They're going to put an egg in it, and then they're going to start making queen cells. So that's the other reason that every 10 14 days you go in here because if I go in here and on day 14 they would have a queen cell. She wouldn't be able to probably come out until day 16, and I'd be able to kill it as long as she was still in here. I can keep them from swarming. Add some more equipment. I probably have to go in a couple more times because you don't get rid of the swarm instinct right away. It takes several iterations, but eventually you can get rid of it. You can just keep killing those cells as long as you haven't left. And eventually they figure out, all right, whatever, we're not going to swarm, and we're just going to do the honey flow. Once you get in an intense honey flow in your part of the country or the world, they usually give up the swarm thing because they want to store honey. That's what they want to store honey so they can winter. That's not necessarily always the case because you know some places in the world they have extra long seasons and several honey flows, but in our part of the world, if I can get them through till July, I don't have to worry about swarming usually until August or September because those are going to build up again. Yeah, we'll show more information. If you click on that link, get your Pixar guide, get on our email list, and we'll give you a notification of our videos because you don't always get it when you subscribe to a channel on YouTube. And you usually press the subscribe bell. Sometimes you don't get it because they only give a small percentage of the subscribers notification because we have over 10,000 now, so they don't send out to everybody. They just send out to a small percentage just because everyone wants to see people interested in that video before they send it to everybody. And that's fine. But if you get on the email list, you'll get notified of all our videos, all our trainings, and all the new stuff that we'll be doing. Was that? Is there any more questions about putting a nucleus into this little guy and what you should do?
I put inside the chat that we buy extra queens for every 4 or 5 hives.
Yep. We get extra queens for in case one of these is dead, we don't have to worry about it. But as you saw, there were so many eggs and so much larvae. If that queen had died, it would just make a new one. It would be fine. Only going to take 14 days. She's going to go out, get made, come back, and start laying. This early in the season, it probably wouldn't affect it at all. When it starts to get more perilous, it's toward the fall, when your drones are already dead or the drones are getting close to being dead, and there's no males to mate with, then you start having problems. You might have to call somebody that lives in Hawaii or somewhere that's warmer and get a queen fall. Or if you buy a lot of packages, you usually get some queens. The rule is 4%. So if you bought 40 packages, whatever 4% of that is, 1.6, you might get two queens for free because that's the general rule. Somebody's going to fail and your package is 4%. But you see, they're all calm. Let me see. I'm going to grab the camera now. See if I can pull it off there. We're just going to move it like this. Don't get seasick, guys. But I just want you to see how calm they are. They've been moved, but they're just chilling. They're just like, yeah, they're in place. We like this and calm. This is the beauty of honeybees. If you treat them right, they'll treat you right. Sorry, this went a little bit long. We're going to try to get through this as quick as possible because I know that everyone's time is very valuable. And I hope you enjoyed watching this installation. And I hope you will join us and get your quick start guide. Even if you're not ready to do it this year, maybe you're just looking at this and say, I'm going to do these. Or you have to just get a guide and start reading about bees. Oh, I got it. Here it is. So my wife said, hey, put this in the sleeve. She never purpose on it. She's a teacher. She does all that. She does everyday notebooks and binders. And look how beautiful that is. There's a guy got some charts, got some information, got some other videos that we did. We've got it in a binder. You can do this and collect all the ones that we're going to do in the future. You have a full course. You can start teaching your husband or wife or brother or son to do beekeeping. You can be expert. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for sharing. Please hit a like or share if you got any value out of this all. It will really help us in the YouTube algorithm. People find it so that beekeepers can learn something. And as always, be extraordinary.